Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Shonen and Chill. I am Zenrotto with my co-host Oceans, and
Hello.
we've got kind of a light week this week. The two heavy hitters decided it was nap week.
hmm
I still wonder what happened with My Hero because it wasn't an announced break week.
Oh, did you not see? It's because Hori isn't doing well.
Oh, he's sick.
They said we couldn't release this chapter due to the poor health condition of the author, and we'll be
Damn,
back next
my
week.
boy's sick again.
Yeah,
Let
I
these
mean to be
people
fair,
rest.
I mean to be fair, he hasn't taken a break in like ages. And also, I saw a couple people saying that Gege and Hori both going to a public event during a pandemic and then both being sick afterwards.
Oh
Uh,
God.
yeah,
Oh God.
it's not like it feels wholesome and funny until you realize, oh God,
Oh. Yeah, I don't love that. Uh,
yeah. But
well, let's
we'll
hope
have
that
to
didn't
see.
happen.
Yeah. I mean, uh, they said that Hori is gonna be back next week, so I assume he's already on the recovery. And Akutami, I don't fucking know what he's doing. She's just chilling.
Well, let's hope he's just chilling. Everyone's just chilling. Everything's fine.
Yeah, they're just digesting the Evangelion movie.
Yeah, it hurt them. They had to go home and cry and think and
Yeah, the way that Evangelion
reach
hurts you, where it's like,
epiphanies. Yeah, new epiphanies of who they are as human beings.
yeah, but the thing with Evangelion is it's always like the amount you enjoy Evangelion is always inversely proportional to how much you enjoy your own life. Like if you absolutely fucking hate living, Evangelion is the best thing ever. If you're in a happy mindset, Evangelion is so cringy.
I could see that.
But,
I've never particularly loved Evangelion, but
uh, I had my time with it, but as I said, once I got out of like my depressed teenager phase, I kind of started being like, okay, this is very indulgent in like really depressed, really overly dramatic depression. But like when you're in it, it feels really cathartic and good. So everyone can get something out of it. That's why you have the inverse proportion.
yeah, that makes sense. Um,
Uh, all right, we have a job to do actually.
yes, we actually have to do work today.
Ah,
Uh,
yeah, on the
our
Lord's day.
extraneous labor of talking about cartoons and comic books. All
This
right,
is what
all right. Let's
this
hear
is
it.
what
What's
Jesus
your
came
top
back for.
three?
My top. Oh God, I don't even have a top three this week. Top one is Mashle. Top two is I guess Undead Unluck, and three is Witch Watch. Sure. What
Damn.
about you?
My number one was Doctor Stone. Number two, Mashle. Number three, Undead Unluck.
Okay. Fucking bargain bin Shonen and Chill this week.
Yeah, it's rough without our mainstay. They're both the background of the show, and nothing to talk about with them this week. Um,
Local manga experts freeze up when asked to talk about more than two shows.
well, I try not to talk about Doctor Stone too much because you don't read it. But it was unavoidable this week. This week was insane, absolute
Mhm.
pop off week. So we'll talk about that
Okay.
a little bit later. Let's go to
Mhm.
the ones who didn't make it. I guess we should start with the list, and the first one on the list is Phantom Seer.
I hate Japanese Disney.
Yeah,
I,
me
I
too.
hate it so much. Okay, first things first. Whoever commented last week that, oh, it's not getting canceled, it's a mistranslation, stop being dramatic. Yeah.
Yeah, that was obviously a really bad cope, but I wish you were
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I wish there was a universe in which you were right, but you were not.
You were very
Sucks.
wrong.
Yeah, sucks for everyone, literally.
Yep.
Oh god. Okay. Like I was trying to read Phantom Seer, like this final chapter, because for what people who lack context, Phantom Seer was cancelled very abruptly. And this final chapter, I was trying to go into with the like mindset of, oh, I'm gonna have fun with it, one last time. But man, did this chapter feel like cynical as hell. It really just
Yes.
felt like, let's finish the shit up.
I oh, reading it the whole time. Like One, it hurt because it was like, oh, I like this series, and it's gonna be gone.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it really just felt like they were saying, okay, this is over, that's over. Iori is a nice boy. Life happens. Bye. Like
Yeah, yeah,
it looks like they literally just scribbled it down as quick as they could, and they just said, fuck it, let's just get out of here. Like you can
yeah.
tell they told these guys, all right, you have 6 days to finish your entire series that you already set up for 3 more villains and a big bad,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
we want you can have 4 extra pages, and we want it done in 5 days.
Oh yeah, no, it was bad. Like because it's not even like a nice ending.
No, it's terrible out of nowhere. Like they beat one bad guy, and they're like, "Oh, we did it. We won. Oh, that's good. Now Senjudoji just can't do stuff for a while.
Uh-huh.
Yay! That's the same as us winning."
Yeah. It's so annoying and like man, because the thing is Phantom Seer is such a anomaly for this because for most other series that get canceled there is a palpable reason behind it, be it sales, be it a falling out behind the scenes that we later find out about, or dumber reasons like even Time Paradox Ghost Rider. As stupid as the reason of cancellation was, it was still a reason.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Where like this one has there's no explanation for this.
Every
It's really
time
well.
we bring this up, because it's happened to me like 4 times on Twitter and in the last Shonen and Chill episode, inevitably someone says, actually, the sales for the series were god awful. You guys keep talking about circulation. You don't know what you're talking about. And then I'm like, okay, well then show me the sales numbers. And then every single time I say that, people ghost and never reply to me after that. So
Well,
here's the thing about circulation numbers, right? When you reprint a series, you reprint it because all the other ones sold out. Phantom
yeah.
Seer got reprints. They didn't print Phantom Seer and send it out and then be like, you know what? Let's just print more of that shit and just see what happens. Let's just do that.
Yeah. I mean, okay, there are cases where they over reprint. Like for example, Samurai 8 got reprints before it even went on sale.
Right,
Uh
which is ridiculous. But
yeah, and
in the
which
case
led
of Phantom
to
Seer, it was not pre-sale. It was after it went on sale.
yeah, exactly. In the case of Samurai 8, it led to the hilarious situation where shops were giving it away for free
That's
because they
so
couldn't get rid of
funny.
it.
That's the only series I will celebrate the cancel. I'm aware it makes me a little hypocritical because I'm always like, hey, be nice to canceled stuff. But man, fucking Kishimoto.
Well, you know what? You know what? Kishimoto is like he is the father of one of the most successful manga
Yeah,
properties
it's easier to make
in
fun of somebody when
history.
they're already like a legend and you can't actually really injure their reputation or, they're not like down and out feeling bad like I'm sure the Phantom Seer authors are.
Yeah, like fucking little Teddy from my hometown who's never acted in a movie before is promised a big gig in the new Steven Spielberg movie and then gets that canceled. I will feel worse for him than I will if fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger gets a role canceled, right? Like at some point you just can are allowed to be cynical. And with
Yeah.
Kishimoto, like he didn't lose anything by having Samurai 8 get
Literally
canceled.
all he did when Samurai 8 got canceled, he's like, well, then I guess I'm doing Boruto now. Fire that guy. Fire
Yeah,
the other guy. Give me that thing.
yeah, but again, like with Samurai 8, you also had such a clear case of it just not doing very well, like anywhere. But with Phantom Seer, you had 100,000 copies in circulation, which okay, they're not copies sold, but they implied that there was a demand for 100,000 copies. Uh, and compare that to something like Roboco, which
20,000
has
copies.
yeah 20,000 copies in circulation, not a single reprint. Which yeah, okay, you can say that is not
Actually, I think
necessarily.
Roboco might have gotten a reprint.
Oh, really?
I think maybe a limited one. I think I might. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think I recall seeing that it did get a Volume 1 reprint.
Okay, but still, like those things happen because
Still
people want to
80,000
read it.
less in circulation.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you, as you said, they don't just print 100,000 copies of Phantom Seer. Um, because they are like, oh yeah, this new series will totally pop off because
Fuck
Jump
trees.
doesn't do
Just print more. We hate trees here at Japanese Disney.
that. Yeah, because Jump doesn't fucking have faith in their series anymore. Like the
No,
last series.
that's like kind of the cynical take on it, isn't it? That they just like seem to be ready for all this shit to fail immediately. And we'll get into that
Yeah.
in a little bit after we talk some more about Phantom Seer, because there's another one that's already on the
Mm-hmm.
chopping block too, supposedly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like I don't quite know where that's coming from because also it seems like the Japanese like response to series seems weirdly fickle. Like I still think the response that Time Paradox Ghost Rider got was so bizarre, like genuinely mind-boggling that was
Yeah,
apparently
I
a big
was never
problem.
really able to parse that. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I don't know if that was just like it, but then again, I guess it wasn't really like I was gonna say I don't know if that was just an excuse, but I guess it can't be because I mean it was like all over like Twitter too. Japanese
Hmm.
fans being like disgusting series promotes plagiarism, and I was like it was never portrayed as a good thing that he was doing that. I don't know. It was
Hmm.
very weird.
Yeah, like it's just weird. And Phantom Sea is just another example of this because like I don't speak Japanese. I cannot enter Japanese forums and like give you the hot potato on like what they think, but man, that shit is circulating. So clearly there's an interest.
Yeah,
Like
I'm very curious to see what Japanese fans think about Phantom Seer getting canceled.
yeah,
Because
I
it,
mean, I
it
guess
seemed
we'll have
like
to
there
hear.
was, yeah, like you said, it seemed like there was an interest for it. And it's just hard to justify it being from a sales perspective when you look at me and Roboco that has 20K in circulation and it's doing
Yeah.
fine. No threat at all. And
Yeah.
people keep saying stuff like, oh, they don't really expect big numbers from comedy series, but a battle series better do big numbers. But I'm like, it's doing 5 times better than me and Roboco is. At some point, you have to just be like, okay, this one's doing way better than this one. We can't cancel it first.
Yeah, and also like, the from the top down perspective, it doesn't matter if it's a battle series or a comedy series, the time and money you invest into keeping a series in the magazine is the exact same.
Right. Like
Because
I can't fathom a world where these people are looking at a comedy series doing badly and being like, "Oh, it's okay if that one does bad. It's a comedy."
yeah, because
Like,
they're
what are you
still
talking about?
like the only difference that I can parse here is that they have to pay two people to make Phantom Seer, as opposed to Roboco, which is done by a single person. But that's it. That's like, and honestly, you know what? Now that I say it, I wonder if that has something to do with it. Because when you look at the series that have been canceled, there is this weird trend that a lot of them do have the duo approach. Because if you look at the Tokyo Shinobi
Shinobi.
Squad,
Yeah.
yeah, that was also handled by a duo, a different duo. You had Time Paradox Ghost Rider, I believe, was done by a duo as well. So I wonder,
That I think is sounds right. Yeah, let me check.
yeah. So I wonder if that has something to do. I mean, I don't know because
Yep,
like
it
they
was a
get,
duo.
yeah, because I know that when you are a single mangaka, you get paid per page, like a flat rate. So I wonder if like that rate is just divided into two or if it's doubled for two.
I don't know, because I mean,
So
even mangaka that work solo would have like assistants and stuff.
that is true. I think the assistants get paid separately though. Like they get paid like an actual monthly
Yeah,
wage.
I would assume that they would get paid just like a wages from Jump or whatever. But
Yeah, right.
I don't
'Cause
know.
they are basically, it's kind of like when on YouTube you get a channel manager. It's like they get a wage from the company itself because they're essentially aids that are being that are essentially being given to you. Whereas you are a commissioned artist, you're a contracted person as a mangaka, and you get, money per unit of contractual work. Like Hori doesn't get, like Hori and Gege don't get monthly wages; they get weekly payouts, if I'm not mistaken. Or at least that was what I learned back when I researched it, like in 2018. I don't know if it changed because this, obviously this industry isn't stagnant at all.
Right.
Like it, yeah, like
I mean, even then though, I can't imagine that they would pay double for a duo like that. I mean, it certainly doesn't sound like something Japanese Disney would willingly do.
That is very true. That's also true. But yeah, like whatever the reason, it is such a shame that Phantom Seer had to go down this route because it had such awesome potential, but it got canceled at 30 chapters. Like fucking Mori King went for longer.
Yep, the manga about the naked man with a stag beetle horn.
Yeah, and now Phantom Seer and the other series that's supposedly getting canceled are being replaced by two romance series.
I guess we can go ahead and say it at this point. It's Build King.
Yeah, Build King apparently is getting canceled as
It's
well.
not an official confirmation yet. It's just a lot of the Shonen news accounts are saying that it seems to be the case. So we have to
Mhm.
wait for the official word. So don't think it's set in stone. But yeah, Build King is apparently on the chopping block as well.
Well, something has to be because we know we're getting two new series, and that means two have to go.
Yeah,
Because
Build King makes sense. Maybe not as much sense as it makes more sense than Phantom Seer did. That's for sure.
yeah,
Um,
because also Build King is such an enigma because I've no clue how well it's doing. I just keep seeing like the Oricon charts where it just fails to rank, which doesn't have to mean that it's
yeah, I
doing
mean, fails
badly,
to
but it
rank
can
can
mean.
mean a lot of things, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Apparently, it's not doing great.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's deserved. That shit fucking stinks.
Yeah, it's super boring. But I also think High School Family is super boring, and Me and Roboco is super boring, and they're trucking along just fine. So
Yeah, well, okay. High School Family is set in high school, so it gets an automatic pass with Japanese audiences. Like that's just how it is. You just have to kind of accept that because the myth of reliving your high school years is so ingrained in contemporary Japanese media
So
that
you're
it's
saying
almost
that that's the
impossible.
only reason that Hori's third manga finally caught on is because he was like, you know what,
Yes.
fuck this, I'm setting it in a school.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I would wager to say that that definitely had something to do with it
He said, I'm sick of this
because
shit. I'm putting it in a school. I've had enough.
uh, he was trying to be original the first two times because at first with Barrage he was like, oh, this is like a magical kingdom where people have magical swords that also hold their personalities. It's like super original. Cancelled. This next one, everyone has like animal powers and they live in a society called the zoo and they have to like fight for better environments for themselves. Cancelled. Fuck it. Cliche time.
Fuck it. It's high school kids with powers.
Look, it's high school
Insta hit.
Marvel. Yeah, but there is something to be said. The high school myth is very popular in Japan, and there are a lot of like essays and like opinion pieces on why that is. But generally, what all of them say, and what seems to be the wider common belief, is that Japanese society is such a horrifying example of late stage capitalism that once you enter the job market, a lot of adults just really want to go back to high school and relive it without the worries of having to go to a good college. And so as a result, you get a lot of media that, of course, in Japan is also consumed by a much more mature audience in general, that is then catered around this idea of high school. Because that way, also a lot of companies see it as an opportunity to cater both to high school audiences because they're like, oh, hey, I'm in high school, they're in high school, cool. And to adult audiences who are like, oh, they're in high school, my life sucks, cool.
That's depressing.
So
That's such late stage capitalism that it's capitalism like ruining your life and then being like, "Hey, do you want to not hate every second of it? Let me sell you some momentary relief."
dude, like
What a
I don't
nightmare.
think I don't think I will ever like come upon a more nightmarish fact than the like realization that the Japanese government uh, had such a problem with people just not having children anymore because no one has the time or the like optimism for families anymore, that they started financing movies and TV shows that showed like children and having kids in a positive light to encourage the population to have kids again.
Yeah, I did know about that. That was where the giant meme came from, right?
Yeah, the
Japanese
whole
Prime Minister Shinzo Abe wants you to have babies.
I'm gonna be real with you, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. This ain't gonna help your declining birth rate.
How about some workers' rights protections?
Yeah, no, I mean, there was literally like anime series as well that were made purely with the idea of, hey, let's make people really, let's give people baby fever. And it did not work.
I can't imagine that it would work.
But yeah, like it's so, it's a very, very harrowing reality. Like that's also why, anyone who's like, oh, Japan is a utopia, like, nah,
No,
not really.
sure ain't.
Yeah, but so yeah, that's why high school tends to really resonate with a lot of the audiences there. Or that, I shouldn't say that because obviously I'm not Japanese and I've never lived there, but that seems to be like the suggestion made by people more knowledgeable than me. Let's put it that way.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Okay, Phantom Seer, what do we give it as a final rating?
As a whole series or just this chapter? Because this chapter was kind of stinky duty, but
Let's
as
do
a
the
whole
whole
series, I thought it was great. I really liked it. I thought it had a lot of potential, it had a lot of heart in it. It was very creative, great art. I liked this solid like 7.5 to 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I liked it enough to be absolutely fucking pissed today.
Yeah. The fact that we're this upset should let you know that we like the series.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, like a 7 out of 10. That's the thing, though. I can't, in good conscience, give it a 7 out of 10 because it would have been a 7 out of 10 if it could have delivered on its potential and just like stayed consistent, which obviously now it can't because it's fucking dead.
Yeah,
So
that's the Jump curse, right? You like a battle series, and then Jump is like, hey, it's been 30 whole chapters, and you're not floating the entire Japanese economy like Demon Slayer did. Get out of my magazine.
honey, it's week 30, time to be canceled. Yes, sweetie.
Yes, honey.
Yeah, so I'm giving it a, I would have loved to give it a 7 out of 10 out of 10.
Fair enough. I'm sticking with 7.5. I really looked forward to it. It was edging its way into being in my top 3 on a weekly basis until Jump decided, yeah, no, it's time to die.
Yeah, can't believe Prime Minister Shinzo Abe did this to us.
God damn it, Shinzo Abe.
He's not even, is he still Prime Minister?
I have no idea.
Because I know the emperor changed. Now they have Naruhito for the new the Reiwa era that started.
They just canceled Phantom Seer so we wouldn't be so distracted reading it and we can go have babies.
Oh, bro. Why are you telling me this while we're all alone? Like, it's not even like that.
All right, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Looks like your plans are working for now.
Let me have a sip of water. Shit's getting hot in here.
We gotta wrap this episode up quick.
Yeah, we're in extreme danger of helping the Japanese declining childbirth rate. Can we get Shonen and pregnant trending, please? Hashtag Shonen and pregnant.
That's the next step after Shonen and Chill.
Oh God, yes it is. Because it is the next step after Netflix. And
exactly. Oh no.
Always practice safe sex, kids. Well, not kids. No. People.
No, not kids. Watsuki does not write this podcast. It's not what we meant.
Well, Shimabukuro is still in this shit, so
not for very
another
long.
week or so. Luckily. Anyway, before we incriminate ourselves.
What do you mean ourselves? Don't say ourselves. You're the one that said it.
Bro, there is no me or you. There's only us in here. Like, come on now.
It's like that old cartoon where we're standing next to each other and you pull up your shirt and it's just flesh connecting our bodies together.
Yes.
There is only us now.
Yes, that's an impressive flesh connection we have here that like spans, the Atlantic.
The Atlantic Ocean.
Just casually. Okay. What's the next series?
Next up is Witch Watch.
Dear God, there was a lot of text this week.
Yeah, there's a lot of fucking text, but there's also shit happening. So there
Yeah.
might actually be like a plot now. I thought it was pretty interesting. The boob joke got a little old, but
It's probably the most tasteless thing it's done so far, but that's kind of a good thing because other series at this point would have done way worse shit, I feel like.
yeah.
So just like, oh, why are my eyes down there? It's like, it's relatively okay, I'd say. Cuz
It's not
like
that bad. I think it got a little old quickly. And I was like, all
yeah.
right, you've called attention to it like 3 times. It's not that funny. Just move on.
Yeah. Breaking news, people, tits are not that funny.
Not that funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why like shonen manga thinks breasts are like the absolute pinnacle of
Well,
comedy.
because it's written for 14-year-olds, and they do think that.
I mean, I guess. Weird. Anyway. Yeah, so the first half of this chapter was very snoozy for me. Like when they were trying to tell me like the lore with the Tengu and the ogre, I
Yeah, it
gotta
was a
admit.
shit ton of text, and it's just, ugh.
And half of it was just dedicated to a Demon Slayer joke, which I'm like, man, I didn't really. This was not as clever of a joke when they made fun of Hunter x Hunter. Maybe it's also because I don't know as much about Demon Slayer that I do about Hunter x Hunter, but I felt like the joke here was literally just, oh damn, he sure likes Demon Slayer. Isn't that
Yeah,
funny?
it sure is funny. Yeah, it almost felt like a Roboco joke of just like, hey Lois, remember the time that my dad brought home every volume of Demon Slayer?
Uh-huh.
And it's like, okay, it's not really a joke. You're just saying the word Demon Slayer in your
Oh my god,
series.
Lois! I bought 30 volumes of Demon Slayer, Lois.
Lois, remember that time that I helped float the Japanese economy through COVID-19 by buying volumes of Demon Slayer?
Remember when Stewie killed Muzan?
Now I'm just picturing little Stewie in the fucking Tanjiro outfit, the sword.
Doesn't Muzan by the end, like his final form, isn't it literally Stewie anyway?
It's just a regular size, like a regular shaped giant baby, but yeah, for some reason
Oh,
he turns into a fucking giant baby. Well, God, Demon Slayer's ending sucks so much.
but yeah, so this chapter was alright, aside from like the first half. Like the second half, once the whole thing came up with like, oh, the dress took over her, and it's like it whisks her away, and they're like, she has an enemy who's a magic user. That's cool. Like I hope it leads somewhere. Like it's not
Yeah, I
just the
really hope
introduction of
next
another
week is not
character.
just like, oh, it flew you to your mom who's testing me or something. I hope it's like an
Mhm.
actual showdown.
Yeah, that's for sure. Like I definitely think I definitely think we're at the point where I do really need the show to kind of show me where this is going. Because
Yeah,
now
I
we've
feel like
had
we've hit, what is this, 10 chapters, 9 chapters, and it's still just kind of like today on the Witch Girl's silly day, which maybe that's all it's
Mhm.
supposed to be, but I would like it if there was at least something going on.
If it tries being a battle shonen, it'll just get axed by chapter 30.
Now you're getting me worried for Mashle. They're fighting too much. Go
Oh
back to the
no.
jokes.
Well, okay, Mashle I think is very safe because Mashle is doing ridiculously well
Yeah,
for itself.
Mashle's crazy popular, but
Yeah, Mashle is actually more in danger of getting an anime adaptation by Studio Mappa than it is of getting cancelled.
the anime gulag.
Well, Mappa is very much a studio that just takes on everything.
Yeah, I'm really worried that when they start doing Chainsaw Man 2 that something's gonna have to give somewhere, but we'll see.
I mean, I that's the thing with Chainsaw Man. I think Chainsaw Man has a good, and I'm not like an insider or anything, but I think Chainsaw Man actually has a very good chance of being more like Jujutsu Kaisen and less like Attack on Titan.
Well, yeah, I
Because
remember Attack on Titan fans basically talking mad shit about Jujutsu Kaisen because Mappa put all their time into that and like didn't give a shit about Attack on Titan.
well, there's that, and also Jujutsu Kaisen got a better schedule, and it was like a new season, like a first season that the team could give its own identity. Whereas with Attack on Titan, the team had to try and recreate another studio's bar of quality, which is not simple because you kind of have to work around your own preferences as a director and as a team, and also it's demotivating. It's also why a lot of studios don't like if like an adaptation changes studio between seasons, it always loses quality. Not just because the schedule is scuffed, but also because tendentially the new team just is demotivated to work on something that someone else helmed for so long. So, and with Chainsaw Man, you have such a passionate fan community of animators in Japan who are now applying at MAPPA to be part of the anime. I can see it being relatively well adapted just because of that, and because whoever gets to direct it is going to be in complete creative control as far as he remains relatively faithful to the source material.
Okay. I'm also worried
Yeah.
that for Jujutsu Kaisen, hopefully with it doing so crazy, they don't treat it any less than it deserves.
Well, I mean, again, it's hard to gauge these things because the anime industry makes no fucking sense. But Jujutsu Kaisen seems to have kind of been an event in the animation industry where a lot of people just really wanted to work on it because the manga was doing crazy well, and a lot of like characters were already really popular and attracted people to wanting to animate for them. So I can see Jujutsu Kaisen remaining relatively solid as long as like that enthusiasm remains.
Need that.
Uh,
Need that.
yeah,
Do not let anything
yeah,
happen to Jujutsu Kaisen.
yeah. I'm not too worried about season 2 or the movie because like man, they fucking managed to get fucking Hironori Tanaka out of the bushes, which is a guy who like appears once every blue moon to animate something, and he appeared like twice on Jujutsu Kaisen. And they got all these crazy people to just who are usually like very far and few between with their contributions to the series to just come and absolutely wreck the shit out of this adaptation in the best way. And I assume that this enthusiasm will also stay. uh I really need one of the next seasons to have Yutaka Nakamura, the Cube Man, on
Oh,
it.
the Cube
Maybe,
King?
yeah, because he's the one star animator they're really missing so far.
Yeah, I'm
Like if he
down. I'm
comes,
down for the Cube King. I need some of that.
I mean, imagine if he comes and animates like Gojo versus Toji.
What what if he only animates the episode with the prison realm, which is the actual cube? It's the only thing he does is he animates the cube that's already there.
Well, you know how fucking pissed I was when because he is always he's in every My Hero Academia season, but only for one or two scenes. And when season 4 was airing, we were all anticipating his scene, and then his scene was just like a random filler fight between two villains that you see for 4 seconds.
Oh,
He did come back and animate 2 more scenes later, but at the time I was so pissed.
that
Uh,
sucks.
yeah, he did come back for Deku versus Overhaul and Endeavor versus High End.
Okay, well
So
that's good. Those are the good
dude,
ones anyway for that.
have you watched Endeavor versus High End in the
I
anime?
sure haven't.
Oh, dude, like just watch season 4, episode 25, which is just like the full episode is just the fight. It's movie quality. It's so good from start to finish.
All right, I'll check it out.
It,
I do
yeah,
like my heroes fights generally.
yeah, and like the anime basically for 80% of its runtime is like the most cookie cutter bland shonen adaptation imaginable. But then when it comes to the big moments, it really ramps up. Like basically anytime Cube Man arrives, it's like peak adaptation.
Cube Man on the scene.
Yeah. Like also Deku versus Overhaul gets so crazy. Like when Deku does his like punch barrage on Overhaul, instead of animating like him doing like an aura punch thing, they just show Overhaul staring down like a rain of giant flaming fists and just getting ripped apart.
Love
It's
that.
the cool, yeah, it's the coolest shit. It looks like One Punch Man for that scene, which is also cool because Cube Man, defined a lot of One Punch Man season 1.
The good season before we went into the forbidden season.
the cursed one. Oh, also, since we are on MHA, just a very quick thing about it. MHA is now canon to Marvel, which is the most random shit ever.
Yeah, I
But it
saw
is.
they have a little like crossover. That was cute.
Yeah, because for those who don't know, on Jump Plus, there's currently a Marvel-sanctioned Deadpool manga running, and All Might appeared in it. As in, he's now a prominent character, and he's also drawn by Horikoshi himself, who got to be guest illustrator at Marvel for this. And it's also really funny because they mentioned that All Might and Deadpool know each other back from the fight against Toxic Chainsaw, which is a fight that canonically happens in MHA, which means that Marvel is canon to MHA and MHA is canon to Marvel, which is so weird but so cool.
So does that mean that the American heroes are just Marvel?
Yeah, basically, because because we know Toxic Chainsaw happened because that they mentioned it in like chapter 1 of the manga, or the main manga. And All Might's like, yes, but I defeated him easily. And now we know he defeated him easily because he had help from Deadpool. And now in the current Deadpool manga, he's back to repay the favor. So it's really cool. I'm so happy for Hori because obviously he started out
That
as like
must
this.
be crazy to like get to cross over with the genre that inspired you to begin with.
Yeah, it's so good. Like I'm so happy for Hori. I also hope we get the Deadpool manga like in English sometime because it looks really fun. And yeah, so that's really cool. Marvel has had some weird crossovers. So they crossed over with Attack on Titan. Like there is
What hasn't crossed over with Attack on Titan though?
I don't know, like what has crossed over with Attack on Titan. I know
I'm thinking
Marvel
of like
has.
every video game I can think of, every like anime mobile game. They all have like quick
Oh yeah.
pull your Attack on Titan characters, and then the actual
Oh
Attack on Titan mobile game sucked dick and got canceled immediately.
oh yeah, I keep forgetting you play you like to play virtual lottery.
Yeah, I'm in the cursed medium.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but Attack on Titan itself, like as in like in terms of comic stuff, they don't have a lot of crossovers. I think they only had the Marvel crossover for it. And then it has like a bunch of spin-off mangas that are all basically just, oh shit sucks. No.
Life.
Yeah, basically. But okay, we've kind of went on a detour. What's next on the
Let's see.
on the
Next after
agenda?
what was that even portion about? Was that about Witch Watch?
Yes, that was Witch Watch. we went everywhere, which based on that, you can tell that this chapter was like whatever.
Next is the Elusive Samurai.
Oh, nice. So another tangent.
Yeah, another tangent about not the chapter. It was fine. That's all I have to say about it.
I don't know if it's the translation, but I seriously need there to be fewer long Japanese names on the page. Like, man, if you're gonna throw Ogasawara-sama and Yorishiga Dono in the same speech bubble to me, I'm sorry, I'm not following. Like, I'm just a stupid Westerner, and those names mean nothing to me. You're gonna have to give me a bit more of a like connection to these characters because it's already hard to remember them, and then many of them are just random people. Like I found out today that the I Man is called Ogasawara or whatever. Like, man,
I mean, I guess for the time period, you kind of have to, but it does get like, God, fuck.
yeah, they all have
It's just a lot. Yeah.
they all have super long names, and they never get abbreviated either, which is like, call the main character Toshi. Don't call him Toshiyuki-sama every time.
Yeah, I feel like you definitely could nickname it a little bit and save us all some time, at least in the translation.
Yeah, because like obviously it's historically accurate and whatever, but man, if this was what history was like, I'm sure happy that shit's over.
Yeah, that's true. Thank God for the modern world.
Yeah, thank God for the passage of time. Where I can
Modern
just walk
naming
up.
conventions, we did it.
Yeah, where I can just walk up to my friend and call him Nick instead of Yorishiga Dono. Yeah, and I mean, I usually don't struggle as much with Japanese names, but there's something about because like Elusive Samurai, it's not just that they have like long Japanese names, it's that they throw them into every single thing they say, and they often speak in third person about other people, and instead of using just pronouns, they use like their full name, and I'm like, oh no, come on, it's Easter, I don't want to read. I have to fucking read like 20 novels for my literature exam this semester. I really don't want to read on Easter. Like, just show me some fun shit.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the joke at the end was cute, where the guy's like, "Yeah, I want all the money," and everyone's like, "Oh my God, he wants so much money!" And then the main guy was like, "Yay, all he wants is money, because I'm a rich shithead, and so I don't understand that money is valuable."
Yeah, that's also really cool. Like, I did like that. I
I
also
thought it was
like,
cute.
yeah, like I like in general like the thief guy. Like,
Yeah, he seems like a character with some actual personality that we've been needing as part of our main crew. Because, like, his
mhm.
little backup squad, man, I could not care less
Well,
about these three kids on his team.
I gotta say the term elusive, the elusive retainers sure does fit, because they sure do elude my attention.
That is
Like,
very true.
yeah, but yeah, so the thief guy looks interesting. His like little backstory is pretty cool. Um, and yeah, I I just hope the shit gets good soon.
Yeah, it's
It
one of
really
these
just not
things
very
where, like,
good.
it has all these flashes where I'm like, oh shit, that was cool. This is awesome. And then it's like, all right, sit down now. It's time for me to teach you about this prefecture and the local
Mhm.
politics behind why it's this shitty. And I'm like, okay.
Mhm.
They busted out like the Dynasty Warriors map on this one, like the fucking conquest game mode map that's got the little heads in it. And I'm like, all right, I don't fucking, oh my God. Can
Yeah,
we just have fun 2 weeks in a row, please?
yeah, it's annoying, but what can we do? So for me, Elusive Samurai gets a please get good out of 10.
Uh-huh. It's 11 chapters. It's time to grow up and get into the real world, god damn it, out of 10.
Yeah, like either get good or get canceled. At this point, like, man, like, because I do like this mangaka, but he's also already made a lot of money.
Yeah, he had Assassination Classroom, which already
Also,
popped off.
did you see the Shonen Jump's well, one of the Shonen Jump accounts April Fool's joke, which was the uh Dead Rising Dead tournament where you could vote for one canceled series to come back, and then the winner would come back, and if you clicked on it, it just sent you to like a joke link.
Oh, that's
That's
depressing.
that's evil. I would
It's
want
kind of,
something like that.
I think it would be cool, but it's kind of tactless from a manga from a magazine publisher that's like famous for ruining series,
Oh,
canceling them
it's not the
immediately.
official. It's not the official Shonen Jump account though. It was
Oh,
one of like
okay. I was like,
the news
really?
account.
Okay, okay. That's funny then.
Yeah, it's like it's one of the like unofficial Shonen Jump news accounts.
Okay, yeah, okay. Then that's a 10 out of 10. Yeah, if it was like the actual Shonen Jump account, I'd be like, are you really dancing on the corpses of the series you've ruined? But
Hey,
if it's one of
go and
the,
vote. Go and vote for which desecrated corpse will desecrate a little bit more.
yeah, that would be bad. But if it's just the unofficial ones, that's funny.
Join this Zoom call to discuss about us how awful it is that we canceled something, and then tell us which one you want back, and maybe we'll think about it. Costs 400 yen to enter. Actually, 400 yen is nothing.
It's
Let's do
nuts. Like
4,000.
what is it, 40 cents? Like,
Yeah, I mean the JoJo event today cost 4,000 yen to watch, and it was fucking worthless.
oh
So
my God, I went to sleep because it was like 3 a.m. for me. But so many people were complaining about how shitty the event was. It got overshadowed by the fact that Stone Ocean is confirmed, which yay, hype about that. I guess I should say something because we got mad comments last week that we didn't bring up the Yuta movie. And
oh
I mean, I didn't bring it up because one, we just talk about Shonen Jump magazine, and two, we already had an episode where we talked about Jujutsu Kaisen Zero. So I don't know what you want us to say other than that it exists. So here you go. There's a part 6 JoJo anime coming in probably like a year or two.
yeah, but the event, oh my god, like actually, I lost a little bit of respect for the JoJo brand because that shit was just bad. Because like, it's not even about like what they showed, because like it was basically a talk show
Well,
for
yeah, I
most
heard
of
like
it.
the production quality was terrible though.
Well, it isn't just that. It's they marketed it for a year and a half about, oh, it's the biggest event in JoJo history, and you can watch it even like in English with subtitles. and it's a pay-per-view event, costs $40, and then you log on, and the subtitles are auto-generated Google Translate tier nonsense that say shit like John Cena versus Giovanna, and like, the fucking long nipple adventure. Like it was literally it was unreadable and
So
unintelligible
what
for
was it?
anyone
Just
who
like
doesn't.
the automatic YouTube subs that are just awful.
Yeah, exactly. Like even worse from what I've seen. And again, this was marketed as viewable in non-Japanese regions with, subtitles, and the subtitles were fucking terrible.
That's
And then,
disappointing.
the account was like, "Oh, don't stream it." Like the official account was like, don't illegally stream it. You don't have respect for the author." It's like, okay, all right, like you're scamming people out of their money, because this is what it is. Like if you're gonna say it's gonna be available in English, and then I log on and the English subtitles literally are just random strings of words automatically generated by an algorithm that's worse than Google Translate, and you ask me to pay $40 for that, which is, a non, like $40 is not a
That's a
fucking
decent chunk
nothing.
of change, yeah.
Yeah, for a pay-per-view event. The first one of its kind for a JoJo announcement as well. And then, the fucking Part 6 announcement isn't even exclusive to the event. It just drops on Twitter literally 2 seconds after it drops on the stream. It's like literally anyone who doesn't speak Japanese completely wasted their money on this. So like I'm as cool as it is that Part 6 is confirmed, this is a huge blow to like the reputability of the brand. I'm really disappointed.
That's a
And
shame
like
because I was actually thinking at first I was thinking about maybe I'll get that. That'd be cool, but then it was like, oh, it's at 3 a.m. and I was like, that's not gonna happen. So it sounds like I lucked out.
yeah, no, like it was, I mean, they had live voice acting sessions and like JoJo Jeopardy and stuff like that. But like, it's not really worth it if you don't understand Japanese. Because if the subtitles are literal gibberish, you're not going to get anything out of it. Like the only good part was the Part 6 announcement, which happened right at the end after 2.5 hours of nothing.
That's unfortunate as well.
Yeah, but the announcement was cool. They passed the torch to Jolene's voice actress, who is a Japanese Egyptian girl who started voice acting by actually fan dubbing JoJo comics in Skype group reading sessions.
Which is cool as imagine again, we were talking about Horikoshi like getting to cross over with his inspirational medium. Imagine being a like up and coming young voice actress and your first role is Jolene when you spent all of your time wanting to get into the medium by fan dubbing JoJo.
Yeah, I don't think it's her first role. She has a couple. She's on Precure and on How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
this is
those
her
are
first.
things that people have heard of.
Hey, the dumbbell anime is unironically really fun. Don't
Those are
don't
things that
don't.
human beings have seen.
Are you disrespecting buff queens, Zen? Are you doing this right now?
Hey,
What
I'm
is
not saying
blasphemy?
about equality. I'm just saying those words in that sequence right now are the first time I've ever heard any of them.
You've not heard of Precure?
Nope.
Oh, damn! You managed to like evade some of the worst Dragon Ball like controversies of the last couple of years then, because Precure is the other Toei show that regularly gets really good animation, and people were like, "Oh, why did Dragon Ball Super get treated like this?" And it's like, well, Dragon Ball Super kind of sucked.
Oh yeah,
So
I
like,
stopped. I stopped listening to people talking about Dragon Ball Super a long time ago, so that's probably why I
oh,
managed to avoid it.
there you go. But yeah, so she's called Ai Fairuz, and it was really cute because she like got they all had like their scripts, like their character lines in uh like golden booklets with the symbol of their part on it, and they pulled out a sixth one and gave it to her, and she
I
started
saw that
crying.
had the butterfly on it.
Yeah, and she started like bawling her eyes out. It was really cute.
Oh, that's cute as hell.
Yeah, like she seems really nice,
I love when
and
voice
I
actors get really into their roles and they get really sad, like crying and happy and sad about them.
yeah, like it like the end of the event was really cool. Like at the end also Tommy Tominga, the singer of the first opening, came on and sang Sonochi no Sadame while all the voice actors in the background were dancing and doing their poses, Jolene included, which is just so nice. But yeah,
That's
like
awesome. It
I just
reminds
wish it
me
hadn't
of
been.
the voice actor for Giorno. Also did Kuroko from Kuroko's Basketball, and he cried a bunch when the series ended. They had some kind of live thing, but they were like
Mhm.
sending off the series, and he started crying, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, yeah, no, the like especially the JoJo voice actors, they're all super talented people, and they seem to they seem to really get into it. Like it's, I mean, at this point, it's a common meme and common knowledge. But Daisuke Ono, who's the voice actor for Jotaro, the first thing he did with his first paycheck from voicing Jotaro was go and buy Jotaro merch.
Yes.
And also, Kensho Ono revealed that after every recording session, the cast of the Part 5 crew would go and have pizza together after
That's
every single one.
adorable.
Yeah, it's so good. Like, these are wonderful people, and I wish I could have
They have
understood
like a
it better.
little. They had that radio show. I don't know if they still do it.
They still do it. And I mean, there's also the whole The Joe Stars band, which is every singer that ever contributes to a JoJo anime song is automatically part of that
Yeah,
band.
they
And
go
they
and tour. They actually have really cool live shows with like giant sold out stadiums. It's kind of ridiculous.
Dude, that one show where they all sing fucking Stand Proud, and like the guy is like is in a Jotaro mantle and doing the pose while like thousands of people are screaming around it. That shit gives me chills every time I watch it. It's so good. Like JoJo, you don't realize how massive JoJo is in Japan until like stuff like this comes around. Like it's just so crazy. Also, for part 6, seems like the character designer for part 4 is back, Nishi Terumi. So expect a bit softer designs than in part 5. That being said, Jolene's anime design is out, and dear God, it looks kind of bad.
Um, I like it. I don't have any huge issue with it. I don't know. It's just a still.
It is a still, and it's very because the thing is, character designs in other animes are very representative of how it'll look on the screen. In JoJo, it means absolutely nothing because JoJo tends to have character designs that just are awful for animation anyway. So every episode kind of does its own thing. Like Giorno has looked in part 5, Giorno looked on model maybe twice. And it's a good thing because his character design, like the character designs for part 5 are god awful. I hate them so much in like the character design sheets. Look up Yacho's character design for part 5 for the anime. He looks like a gremlin. But luckily, the anime just ignored that for most of the time. And the only time they didn't ignore it is when they had really talented people on the episode, and then it worked. So I hope that the same will be the case for part 6, because yeah, that Jolene looks really stiff. Like it kind of has the worst parts of part 4 and part 5's aesthetic to me. But I'm sure that'll kind of get fixed up as like the series is actually animated. Like especially her arm, like the arm that she has stretched out looks really
Yeah,
wonky.
well, the pose is a little. I mean, I don't know. I don't really have any like express issue with it. It just kind of looks a little chunky, I guess. Not that she looks fat, but it looks kind of like a posed action figure, not
Yeah,
like a way a character like a person would stand. But JoJo characters kind of look that way, so
yeah, but that's kind of the thing. Like, and it's the problem that Part Five's designs also had. They look naturally very stiff, which isn't good when you want to animate something. And Part Five got around that by just ignoring the character designs half the time. Yeah, and there was a Haikyuu season 4 had the same character designer, and they got around this issue by, the production breaking down halfway through and delivering an episode that was, just not finished.
oh god.
Yeah. So, that like Kishida, which is that character designer, he's really prominent, and I kind of get why he's an awesome artist. But man, as character designer, I just wish they would not use him because he tends to do this super detailed stuff. Like if you look at Giorno's character design, he has like all these detailed lines on his clothes that make it look like his clothes are made out of like metal. It's super stiff and super detailed and just doesn't fit animation whatsoever. So I'm hopeful for now for Jolene because Nishi Terumi is much softer, so maybe she'll soften it up a bit with this design. But so yeah, let's see what part 6 when it's gonna come out because we didn't get a release date.
That's true. So anyway, that was the Elusive Samurai.
Elusive Samurai gets a part 6
Part
confirmed out of
6
10.
confirmed JoJo out of 10. So I guess that puts us into our top threes, which I don't even know what we have left. Man, we're really off balance this week. I blame the holidays.
Yeah, well,
Um,
I'm in a food coma basically.
all right,
I
so I
ate
think that leaves
Italian
us
lunch.
with Undead Unluck, Mashle, and Doctor Stone, which you won't contribute to, but I'll just rave about for a little bit as we close.
Okay.
So let's do Undead Unluck first.
Okay. I really like the martial arts man. He
Yes,
is
is it
cool.
Shen? Is that it?
Chen, I think, yeah.
Chen?
Sounds
Yeah,
about right.
I like him a lot. He's I don't know. He has like a cute personality, but it's not like overbearing or annoying. He's like he can switch between being a super badass and like depicted as such without
Hmm.
like feeling weird when he switches to cutesy, which is not always that easy to do.
Hmm.
I really like him. I liked the little move where he decided he was going to switch enemies at the last second.
Hmm.
I don't. This was a good chapter, man.
Yeah, yeah, like the whole thing with I want to fight strong martial artists, and now I have the chance to do it thanks to this artifact. That's super cool. And the final panel where like crosses staffs with this other villain, which I'm like just gonna call is like his master or like a reincarnated version of his master or
Yeah, it
whatever.
definitely feels that way. I was
Yeah, because they
about to
both
say.
they both speak Chinese, and they seem to have a fondness for each other. So like, yeah, sure, that's that's sensei. Um, so yeah, I'm just hyped to see more of him because like the panel where he first attacks and you see like untruth on it, like that's so cool. Like
Yeah,
that
the
spread.
whole spread is awesome.
Yeah, he's weird because he looks like such a fucking twink most of the time. But then when you get a close up of him where he's like doing shit, you realize he's really buff.
That he's
And like,
huge. Yeah, he's like
yeah,
ripped beyond words.
yeah. This is really cool. I actually really like it. It reminds me of MASH in a way.
A little bit, yeah. I
Yeah.
can see
He's
that.
just a goofy small uwu boy until you piss him off, and then he's like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but Japanese. Well, Chinese, I guess, in this case. Wait, MASH isn't Japanese, right? Like it takes place in fake Britain.
Yeah, I think it's fake English people mostly.
Oi, 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 I'm Mash Burn Dead and I have no magic. Damn, where are my cream puffs? Eh? No, that's actually Canadian, I'm sorry.
You're trying. You're trying.
I'm gonna get an earful because my girlfriend definitely heard that and she's British, so
Uh-oh.
rip, rip
Shonen and
me.
Chill causing problems on the home front.
Shonen Chill abruptly on break because of the poor health condition of one of
The
the authors. Have this postcard illustration instead.
it's just me and just the days since injured in the workplace, zero picture of you.
It's just you talking into the void. Just doing a solo episode.
Doing a solo episode as though you're still there. So I'm just talking to you, and it's just half the conversation.
You just pretend you lost the audio on me. Oh my god, that's actually one of my biggest fears that we realize we record like 2 hours and then we realize afterwards one of us was just not
Oh
hearable.
God, I know. That's I strenuously check the audio levels before we start just to make sure that doesn't happen. Because this show is
Yeah.
always an hour plus, and so like if you mess it up, you can't do it again without doing it
Yeah.
a different day.
Yeah, if that happens, we just release an episode that's like half done and completely ununderstandable, and then the pinned comment is just me saying, "Guys, trust me, it was really good.
This one was
Just
awesome.
just upvote, trust me, guys." That's kind of plan.
Just like it and watch it anyway.
Keep the numbers up, boys. Can't let the YouTube algorithm see that we're dead.
Don't show the algorithm any fear.
Like fucking, if you stop liking, it can see you.
It's like the T-Rex from Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So Undead Unluck. Anyway, this chapter was very much just the martial artist hype hour, but I liked it. Like, I
Yeah, I
think
liked it a lot too. It's kind of like you said with the Elusive Samurai, with like, I just kind of woke up looking at the magazine today knowing that the big boys weren't going to be in it, and I just wanted some hype delivered, and this
Mhm,
definitely did that.
mhm. Yeah, I'm starting to get the impression that Undead Unluck's big strength isn't the overarching like big narrative, but rather just like its characters and smaller moments that then lead into like big hype panels. Because this artist really knows how to do like big spreads and how to do a lot of them. Like every chapter is like 2 or 3, and some of them have like 7. It's insane. So yeah, like I'll be really interested to see how an anime adaptation will handle this. Because also like once the anime comes around, a lot of the information I assume will be easier to digest. So it could really end up being quite a splash.
Yeah, I would
Uh,
expect the anime would do very well. I also
well, once
really
you get
like the
past.
ending of this chapter where he's like somberly defeating the old student that he lost to in the tournament when he was a kid. And it's
Mhm.
like, he's got the hair shading his eyes, and he's like, "This was my senior." And the guy was like, "Oh, so do you have a grudge against me?" And he was like, "Nah, I don't give a shit
Survival of the
about this
fittest.
guy."
He literally just says survival of the fittest.
Yep. He says, "I couldn't care less," and they just start fighting.
Yeah, survival of the fittest is always such a funny phrase to me because when people ever bring it up in like a real world context, it's always brought up by people who like literally be selected out first.
Yeah, yeah,
It's always like a 60-year-old, definitely some health condition, like survival of the fittest, natural selection. Like okay, well you first.
yeah. All right, bye bye.
Like
If that's how you feel.
healthcare healthcare interferes with survival of the fittest. You know, that's kind of
Yeah,
that's kind of what that is every time.
yeah. Well, when they say survival of the fittest, they mean everyone that's worse off than me deserves
When they
less.
Yeah, when they say survival of the fittest, they mean survival of white and normative. That's it.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's why it's so like even just reading it in a comic, that phrase just immediately brings up those connotations. I've heard it so often because there is no one more confident in this world than some fucking dope who has read not a single biology book in his life, but is convinced that biology backs up his shitty worldview.
Oh God, I know. Anytime someone's like, "It's the science," and you're like, "There's no science that says that," they're like, "Oh, okay, whatever, idiot, bye." And it's like, okay,
Yeah, like
I
it's
don't
the
know what to
science.
say to you. There's no science that says that.
They're like, it's the science, and you can be like, but here's like scientific peer-reviewed journals that contradict this, and like, you believe in big science, you fucking sheep.
I know, yeah. It's the same people that are like, "There's only two genders. Biology says so," are also like, "Oh, you're gonna get a vaccine? Yeah, okay. Do you think the world is round? Yeah, all right." It's like, what do you want me to do with this information?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, science is something you kind of do have to take seriously, but then you have to take it seriously properly. You don't get just to pick and choose the parts that seem right to you, and you definitely don't get to pick and choose off of science fun facts that you read on Facebook. Like, I mean, it's climate change all over again, right? Where
Pretty
people are like,
much.
the science, yeah, the science says this, and it's like that science is 50 years old and not supported by anyone anymore. You want to maybe use because that's also the thing with like the two genders and whatnot, right? It's like the science said this in 1982. It's like so you propose to be a like believer of science, but only in the specific time of like 1982 to 1992. Is that it?
Yeah,
And everything after
I
that is
believe
just
in
big
science, but
science.
only science that confirms my implicit biases.
Yeah, basically. Like, look, I believe in science, but only as long as it lets me be like a fucking bigot,
Yeah,
right?
any
Like,
science that might make me wrong is not good science. That's bad science. Good
look,
science
there's
is the
two,
science where I'm right in the things that I think.
there's two types of science. There's a good science that tells me that there's only two genders and that people who are non-white are inferior, and then there's that lefty shit.
The
That's it.
political
Like, that's,
science.
yeah, the political science. Like, oh, you're going out to measure like the density of icebergs in the Arctic? What are you, some fucking commie? Like, okay, fucking Marx. Why don't you tell me about carbon emission next? Like, it's so
Marx.
frustrating. Marx goes out and measures the icebergs.
Because that's what communism was, is making sure that there's enough ice density in the icebergs in the Arctic. Can't have communism with a weak Arctic.
Hey, communism is fueled by the cold that is emitted through the Arctic. Everyone knows that. Like, read up on the science, bro. Anyway, that was Undead Unluck.
Yeah, man, we're really on a roll today, aren't we?
Look, man, it's Easter, and I have like 2 or 3 solid kilos of meat inside of me because of this.
Whoa! You can't say that on the air while it's just us here.
Shinzo Abe told me I gotta try a little bit harder, to melt your icy heart.
Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe strikes again.
Anyway, this was Shonen and Chill, sponsored by Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. I already know there's gonna be someone who's gonna tweet at us or someone who's gonna comment that's like, oh, actually, like the declining birth rate of Japan is actually a really serious issue, and making fun of it is really fucked up. It's like, yeah, we know, but you know what? The world's fucking going to shit.
Everything sucks everywhere, man.
Yeah, and I have 4 pieces of piccata milanese in my stomach, just destroying my insides. Man, let me make fun of good old Shinzo.
Yeah, take that, Shinzo Abe.
You buy a pack of condoms and just say, damn you, Shinzo Abe.
Supporting the big condom industry to spite Shinzo Abe.
Fucking like anti contraceptive education, but instead of being really Catholic, it's just like, think about what Shinzo Abe would feel about this.
So it's abstinence Catholicism versus Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Those are the 2 kinds of sex ed that you can teach.
Yes, basically you either believe in Jesus or you believe in Shinzo Abe. Oh god, we're having this discussion on Easter. Happy Easter, dear Christians.
It's better than a "he is risen" joke, that's for sure.
That has to be the dirtiest laugh we've shared so far, bro. Oh man. Oh dear God.
So that was Undead Unluck.
Yes. Undead Unluck. Have sex with reckless abandon out of 10, says Shinzo Abe.
Sponsored by Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. So next, okay. I'll just talk about Dr. Stone real fast because you don't read it. That way we can end the episode on a chapter we both read.
Yes.
It was another brutal chapter. Everybody getting shot, like everybody. Like we've run out of characters now who have not been shot. Everybody's dying. And then this guy shoves his arm into like this giant chest to grab a Medusa like petrification device, and they crush his arm in the thing. Like everyone's getting brutalized, dude. This is getting very graphic for a series that started out like a PBS special. Like this is how you make soap. Now everybody's getting shot to death. And they set the little radio in this guy's watch to hear the creepy robot Senku voice from the moon read off its command to petrify the entire Earth again. So this at the end of this chapter, all of our main characters are dying, but they just set off a petrification light that's going to envelop the entire planet.
Oh, again.
Again, yeah. So we don't know if how they're going to get out of it, or because a few chapters ago, Chrome mentioned creating a device for like a timed release drip of revival fluid, where like it would just be a machine that would release some every at like a certain interval over and over again. So I don't know if that's how they're going to get out of it or what the plan is, but they're literally all bleeding to death, so they have to petrify themselves to survive because being petrified heals you also for some reason. And they're petrifying the entire planet so as to also petrify their enemies. Holy shit. Shit's getting crazy right now.
That sounds like a very like. Is Doctor Stone ending? Because that sounds very final arc-ish.
I don't know. I haven't seen anything about it. I mean, it's 191 chapters long, so I think that's like longer than Demon Slayer ran for, or about as long. So I mean, it could, and it does kind of sound. I almost was wondering when I first read it, is this going to be okay? So Demon Slayer ran for 205, so it's very close to what Demon Slayer ran for. I almost wonder, like, are they gonna end the series this way? That's just like humanity tried to come back, couldn't do it because we just inevitably go to war with each other, and the end result is that we're just petrified again, and humanity is over again.
Okay.
But I don't think so. I mean, that's very contrary to like Senku's whole thing.
He's just gonna invent 5G technology and save everyone.
It's just gonna be Senku, one girl, and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe that get released from Stone.
Like Senku's like, damn, so now I have a girl out. What the hell do we do next? Shinzo Abe just starts sweating profusely. I can't wait to put Shinzo Abe on the thumbnail, and no one will know what the fuck this episode is
Shinzo Abe
about.
with Senku's hair.
Oh no. They'll think we'll actually talk like substantial about Dr. Stone, and it's literally just a fucking sex joke.
This is what happens when you take Jujutsu Kaisen and My Hero Academia away from us.
Yeah, because like all the other times were like really thoughtful, like societal criticism on the horrors of capitalism, and now it's just anyway, people aren't fucking as much. Isn't that
Why
kind of
aren't
messed
people
up?
fucking, guys? I don't know.
Like, you know, it's Easter holidays. Like, spare a little tenderness. The message was sponsored by the Japanese government. You think this is the first episode gets demonetized?
Probably. We're on the way, I think.
I mean, I don't get YouTube demonetization because I started my Chainsaw Man video. I started it with animating like Makinuma's boob jiggle to the tune of the like manga trailer theme, which is like very sexy music. And I was like sure that was gonna get me demonetized, but it didn't. So like I don't get
The
what
only
their
time
priorities
I've
are.
ever been demonetized after it uploaded with monetization on was when I said like fuck within the first 10 seconds of the video. It's the only time it's ever happened to me.
Well, yeah, because like, that's also not ever happened to me because like I swear in my videos because like you know I'm a foreigner who learned English as oh god my fifth language, so like half my English knowledge is just swearing. Like that's where I started. That's where everyone starts when they learn English as a second or third or whatever language. So all of my videos have a lot of swearing in them, and it's like, why am I still making money? I mean, I'm not complaining.
Well, I think YouTube has a thing about like when you swear. Like if you swear too early for some reason, it's not ad suitable. But if you swear after a certain amount of time has gone by, it's okay.
Okay. Well, I also probably now it has like the thing with oh god, was it with you know, you can set your channel to be not specifically not for kids, and now they also have the pre-upload
The suitability
checks.
ratings.
Yeah, because have you seen the new system where it like keeps your video in limbo for a while and then until it knows if it's suitable both advertiser and copyright wise?
I've seen the new checklist, but I haven't seen it uploaded in limbo yet.
Oh yeah, because it happened to me with my last sponsored video. It was in limbo for multiple hours, and I was like,
That's annoying.
"Fuck."
It's like
Yeah.
multiple hours of. That's like the most ad rev you get. It's the first few hours.
Well, okay. It that's the advantage of it. It doesn't actually set it public until the checks are done, so you don't actually lose any ad revenue.
Okay, that's fine then.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
it's annoying,
it's
but it's
actually
not that bad.
it's annoying, but it's a nice step because now basically you can forego any and all issues before you go live and lose that first bit of revenue.
Assuming it works properly.
Yeah, but I've uploaded 2 videos now with that, and both of them have had like copyrighted material. And on both of them, well, one of them was fine after a long check, and another one it found things before and told me literally exactly what the problem was, and so I just re-edited the stuff out. It's like, oh, you used this song from 50 years ago that a company recently bought the copyright for. Sucks to be you. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that sure protects the artist that's been dead for 30 years. But sure.
Capitalism.
Ah, man. Shinzo, where are you? Okay, so
So that was
if that
Dr.
was
Stone.
that was Dr. Stone.
So now let's talk about Mashle. Bring it home with good old Mashle.
Oh man, Mashle. When I read Mashle, that was the only time this week felt like actual Shonen Jump. Like Mashle is the only thing this week that was like where I felt like, yes, I'm reading the same magazine where Jujutsu Kaisen and My Hero come out because it was real good.
Mashle's always good. I love that he's just like they're having this giant fight and he's got like the Amaterasu from Naruto on his sword. And he's like, it's evil black flame. If it touches you, you'll die. And he's like, they're dodging it. And he avoids the whole thing. And then just this little baby owl comes out and takes his cream puff out of his jacket out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And that's what makes him lose the game.
Yeah, and it's also like when the guy swings up his sword at him, Mashle just like rips out the ground where the circle's in and keeps his head looking downwards while bending his body upwards.
Yep.
It's the dumbest shit, but it's so funny. But yeah, I actually really like this chapter because it sets up this other divine visionary for the future. Like he's definitely not done with. But it also gives us like a nice hint at like at how where Mash stands, because obviously the only reason he actually won this confrontation was because it was a game. Like I doubt he could actually do anything against the Black Flames as he is right now. And I mean, the guy also says as much. He says, "Oh, Macron, French Prime Minister Macron, is gonna be a problem for you." Did anyone get that reference? Do you all know the French Prime Minister?
I do not, but I trust
Well,
that someone in our audience does. At least
well,
one
he's
of
called
you, please comment that you know who the French Prime Minister is.
well, he's called Macron. That's it. And he's people really love him because they keep calling him the MILF Hunter. Because he's like 50 and his wife is like beyond the age where you can really reasonably ask her age without getting a ludicrous answer. Like I think she's like 80 or some shit.
Jesus.
Yeah. And she also looks her age, so everyone's like, the MILF Hunter. Yeah, which French prime ministers are a fun rabbit hole because all of them cheat on their wives, and without fail, every single time they do, their approval ratings go up with the French population.
Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe approves.
Anyway, the chapter ends with a really cool page as well, where it's like, let's see who's stronger, and Mashle's like, aha. It's like the most like shonen hard talk Mash has done so far. Like,
The
that's a nice
final
joke.
page almost reminds me of the Jotaro and Dio standoff page, where they're just staring at each other in part 3.
Uh-huh.
Just the way that Mash is like, they're both sitting there, and Mash is just like, yeah, whatever. Fuck you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it's really cool. And I hope that we next week get our first proper like shonen battle, because it feels like that's what's been this has been leading up to. Like I don't remember the last time if we ever in Mashle got such a long build up to someone.
The
Maybe the
only other
doll
person
guy.
I can think of is the puppet guy.
Yeah, exactly. But even there, like his buildup was mostly just him being in the background, like ah ha ha. Whereas here, Macaron is very much like, oh yes, I keep appearing and I keep showing that I'm really strong, and people keep telling Mash, oh, he's really strong, and now we have like this very serious standoff at the end. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to like because this is the moment, right? This is the moment. This is where Mashle is either going to embrace being a battle shonen or where it's going to keep being a joke manga, which, either way, I'll be happy because I like Mashle's jokes. I think I'd be more happy if it decided to actually have like a direction to go in. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with this chapter. I don't know
Yeah,
if
it
you
was a
have
good. I
anything else
like the
to say.
Gin guy, the guy that looks like Gin from Bleach. um,
Mm-hmm.
he's cool. I like that. He quote unquote sort of lost against Mash, but they were just playing around, and they made it very clear
Mm-hmm.
that like he wasn't trying. Because it's
Mm-hmm.
nice to have some opponents. Like we've hit the point where Mash isn't just like bodying everybody without trying, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then I also like that he kind of is setting himself up as like not a bad guy necessarily, because it feels like a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
Divine Visionaries are just like dicks. And so
Mm-hmm.
I like that this guy is kind of like he might be a good teammate for me, but you don't know what that means. Could he be evil? He's got the snake face? He's got anime snake face, so
Yeah,
he
of
could
course.
very well be a bad guy or a good guy. You don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I like him a lot. He's one of my favorite new characters they've been probably since Rain. He might be one of my favorites
Mm-hmm.
since then of other characters besides Mash that they brought in.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I like they just keep pulling magic artifacts out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's
this isn't one of the Bankai wands or the other kind. This is just a sword that I have that has the Amaterasu on it.
yeah, it's so good. Like how Mashal keeps like expanding on itself because like it feels out of nowhere, but it also kind of feels appropriate for Mashal because yeah, of course, someone in Mashal would just randomly have an Amaterasu sword. I'm not mad about that. That's super
Yeah, yeah. I
cool.
don't think it like messes anything up. It's funny. Like
Yeah,
I have
like
the
what you're
Amaterasu
gonna
sword now.
like what Mash is gonna just have a domain expansion next chapter? Bet I'm in for it.
Domain expansion, muscle zone.
Domain expansion, gym planet. Like it doesn't do anything except that it gives him like his workout machines.
All it does is it makes everybody feel like they have a bunch of weight on their backs, and he's unaffected because he's just used to carrying all that weight.
He says domain expansion, nothing happens. He just beats the crap out of you while you're distracted.
He takes the pose and he says domain expansion, and then he just runs up and starts beating the shit out of the person.
Dude, like fucking manga magic characters just throwing straight hands is the most fire trope in shonen for me. Like, oh my god, that fucking like those 4 pages of just spreads of Ghetto like manhandling that old sorcerer dude in the flashback arc.
That's
That's the
such a good
funniest.
fight. Oh my god.
That's funniest shit as well. Like the page chart where he's like, "Oh wait, I'm seeing my dog. Didn't you die like 50 years ago?"
That was
Oh right.
yeah, when he jumps in and he's like, "You made your own blind spot, you dumb kid," and then you turn the page and it's him hugging his puppy, and he's like,
He's like,
"Oh wait, I'm seeing my life flash before my eyes," and Geto's just beating the piss out of him.
yeah. But also, like for example, like in the final fight of Naruto versus Sasuke, when they're like exhausted all their chakra and they're literally just slugging each other
Yeah,
in the
they're not even
sunset.
doing like fancy martial arts anymore. They're just like rolling around on the ground, punching the shit out of each other.
Yeah, that's the rawest shit ever. I love that so much. Like it's so cliche, but it's also so kino. It's clichino. I
Cleano.
think. Oh, it's cleano because it's clean. Oh, you hear that, Shinzo? That's all thanks to you.
That's all thanks to inspiration from Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe.
I would like to thank my parents, my friends and family, and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe for making this possible. Oh my God! Wait, is Shinzo Abe still alive?
think
Actually,
so.
Shinzo Abe. Yeah, he's still alive. Okay. What's his Twitter? I want to invite him to the show. Hey, at. No, wait. I need to actually tweet this. Okay, wait.
Oh,
hey.
he's not the prime minister anymore.
Well, that's
He is in our hearts.
He has a Twitter.
Yes. Next week on Shonen and Chill, AOC and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe.
May I interest you in a guest spot in renowned podcast hashtag Shonen and Chill. There will be snacks. I'm not gonna write this, but by snacks we obviously mean increasing birth rates.
There will be snacks, and by that we mean successful increase of the national average.
There will be snacks, and by that we mean conception of new citizens.
To keep your capitalist hellhole running for many generations to come.
Are we seriously inviting the Japanese Prime Minister
You're
to a
goddamn
digital
right
orgy?
we are. One of these days, one of them's going to respond.
Yes, but before that, both of us are going to end up on a watch list. Because we keep adding political figures about fucking Japanese nonsense.
Shinzo Abe is going to be like, oh, the Weekly Shonen Jump podcast? I love those guys.
They're my favorite weekly show to watch after Family Guy.
Shinzo Abe is the guy who always comments that Black Clover was really good.
It's like, you see, I really like how Tabata draws like pretty women because I think that will really help the Japanese people.
Tabata's female designs are sure to help increase the Japanese birth rate.
Hello, my name is Shinzo Abe and I'm the CEO of Sex.
The background for next week's episode is just Deku with your name, Yuji with my name, and then Noel from Black Clover, and it says Shinzo Abe. It's just Rangiku from Bleach.
And his like Discord icon is between her tits. Gotcha.
Absolutely. It's just him smiling and doing a thumbs up. It's like right in between.
Yeah, because also his. What was Shinzo Abe's last tweet? Let me lurk. It's about like a train incident in Taiwan. Damn.
Oh, that's sad. Yeah.
Anyway, sex is kind of cool, ain't it?
Unless you're under the age of 18 and you watch this, in which case it's not.
Abstinence only.
Do not talk about it at all.
Yeah, until you're 18, it's abstinence only. And after that, after 18, it's Shinzo sexual.
That's the new sex ed. That's the college sex ed. You go from abstinence only to Shinzo only.
like you're in college and you think it's about time, like with your significant other of whichever gender, and you're thinking about using contraceptives, and you just look up to the moon and just see Shinzo Abe's face and he shakes his head. And you're like, thank you, Shinzo Abe.
Thank you for guiding me.
Thank you for guiding me to parenthood.
The guy opens his wallet to pull a condom out, but then he looks down in his wallet and he's got a picture of Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in his wallet. Looking back up at him, and he just puts the condom back in the wallet.
You have to title this one after the usual title. You have to title it "The One with the Declining Birth Rate," or featuring the declining birth rate of Japan.
Featuring Japan's national birth rate decline.
What do you think? Is it about time to close this out?
Yeah, that was Mashle, everybody. Happy Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter. Do not fuck like bunnies. Unless you want to, I guess.
Unless you want to and you're over 18. In which case you have the seal of approval of Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe.
And of Shonen and Chill. in case you needed validation, yes, you may.
So now when the guy goes to pull the condom out of his wallet, he's just going to have your Discord icon in there, looking at him like, yes, son.
He looks up to the moon, and it's Shinzo Abe.
Shinzo Abe on the moon!
Yeah, and it's the two of us behind him. Arms crossed, shaking our heads. Like, no, son. Put the devil's balloon away.
Satan's muzzle.
Yeah. Oh my god. So anyway, the walls are really thin here, so my girlfriend heard all of that, and I'm gonna have to explain what the hell this was about. Okay. I think
next
with that,
chapter is next week's episode is gonna be Shonen and Chill, the one where Oceaniz is single.
No, I hope not. The one where Oceaniz has a bunch of mysterious bruises.
The one where Oceaniz ran into a door.
The one where Oceaniz has been sleeping on a sofa for a week. All right. I think with that, I can sign off.
All right,
Unless you have
everybody.
anything else to add.
Thank you for listening. This week was a little disorganized, but that's what you're here for.
I like how the one organizational consistency throughout all of it was Shinzo Abe.
I know.
From start to finish.
All right, we'll see you guys next time. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Take care. Bye.